All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Good evening and good afternoon. Wherever you are. Hello, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Today is Art Thursday, so we're going to go and get into the art soon. It's going to be really good because I'm going over old designs that I have for fun. I'm going to start by, sort of polling you guys to see which ones you want me to do first. So let's get right into it. Uh, got two characters up right now, and these are the ones that I'm trying to decide between. It's fine, turn off. I want this one so that I can move it off to the side so that we can sort of get. Come on now, don't be jerky. Which one do you guys? I see. So Coop votes for my Boku no Hero Academia person. And we got one vote for Sticks, because that's his name. Eventually, I'm gonna do both. See, I got Wings down here and Boku no Hero Academia man. Yeah, Wings and Horns and Goop. So, which one would you guys rather I do first? I got Sticks and Hijack. Or Ash. I'm gonna get to both of them. I'm sort of like traipsing through. Okay. So we'll start with. So, this is Sticks. This is a character that I bought like 4 years ago. That was of a species sort of thing that never got off the ground, and I want to make better. Basically, make more character me style. Is my post-apocalyptic boy. So this was the original art that I got from the person. They can do wings really well. It's very good, obviously, for me at least. But it's got the pointy face anime boy syndrome. So because I'm not that, I've been trying to work out the facial features. And I ended up with a sort of face shape that I liked off over here, because my boy deserves a good cute face shape. So of course I'm gonna do that real quick. Just sort of get the face down from this, because I like that. Just sort of gesture areas. That's what we do first. Is basic shapes. Basic head shapes. And to keep balance, you find your middle ground. And then I can sort of turn off this top layer, which sort of shows you the head shape that I'm going with, which is. I actually like the horns being sort of uneven. So, the species I believe that this person called this was seer suns. And they're naturally with the wings and the clouds and this the horns. But he was special because he had goopy halo, and he reminded me of Danny Phantom, which is why I bought him. Because I wanted one of those like edgy white-haired anime boys. I got exactly what I wanted, obviously. So then from here, now that you got your head shape, you just sort of got to break down what you need, since this is ears. It's going to be wings, because that's the basic part of their anatomy. You got to decide what you want to do for the character, like what the personality is. Sticks is Sticks is my loner boy. He's chill. He's out by himself. He's doing his own thing. He doesn't really interact with people much. You know, your basic edgy lord. So you could go with the easy to draw edgelord eyes, as seen here, which is, I believe, sort of what they drew him with. Or you could do what I did, which was do just a minor difference to the regular edgy eyes, which is downward curve. If you do a downward curve, he's sort of got tired eyes as well as anime edgy eyes, which amuses me to no end. Especially since I've always sort of drawn him with like the eyebrows that's just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you stop? When doing this though, you gotta make sure you keep the balance. I also went, yes, give him a strong nose. He deserves the strongest of noses. So, he has a strong nose, which makes me happy. Yep. Which is what I'm adding in here, just so that you guys can see. When I turn it off, because it makes life easier. I found that, especially when you're doing faces like this, that it's best to line up the inner edge of the eye with the bridge of the nose wherever you put it. But then you have to make sure you put the mouth in the correct place, which can be harder than you'd think. I love doing bean-shaped mouths. It makes me happy in a way that's hard to articulate. So, like I said, we got the basic face shape now. For the guy, the dude. Heart shape does count as bean shaped mouth. Heart shaped mouth is very fun to draw. So is bean shaped mouth. Now, I did this because I like freckles. But he didn't initially have these. Which is a shame because he deserves them. I mean, better. So there are many shapes of bean. I have also taken to just adding marks wherever I feel like it. Because these are my characters, dang it. I get to decide what they do. You want to add freckles to your horns? You do it. You want to have designs that make you happy, more or less. That's the most important thing. I I have to say it now because I got to. I also tend to make him slightly more buff than he was initially. Because wings, especially wings on your back, are going to give you weird musculature. And that's fun. You have to keep that in mind because that's fun. I'm not going really further than this. We're doing sort of a bust shot, I suppose, is what we're going to go with. So, I guess it's Q&A time. You guys can ask me stuff. I can ask you stuff. About my design process, about why I do what I do. Whatever you want to ask, I'm up to answering questions. If you got them, shoot them off. If you don't, I'm just going to keep talking. So, I check back in with this particular adopt sequence around times because I wanted to know if anybody else had gotten any of these. And nope, it's me. I'm the only one so far who's gotten anything. Which is, like, come on, guys, they're cool. They got horns, they got wings. Come on, what's the problem? What's the hold up here? Which is amusing to me, at least a little bit, because it's probably the wings. I'm thinking wings are hard for people to draw. They're cultivated skill. For me, they're not that hard, but that's just because I've been practicing for forever and a half with them. Right now, I'm just doing when I use color palettes, um, a lot of the time I'll stick with what I've been given, but add more to it. So, like, they use this nice sort of almost red white for the hair, but I believe I've used pure white in the past. I have him up on my art fight where I had drawn him immediately after buying him. And from there, I tend to use brighter colors. So using a more muted palette is both fun and challenging. Because I'm not entirely sure, just in general, where things go. So I do tend to stick with the palettes that I've been given, but then add more colors, usually each in the families that they're part of. So, like, with this one, I'll probably add white on top of it, but that would be the toppest point, and the red over here is not nearly, like, enough by itself. It would be like I add some more darks in here. The only thing that I don't think I change very much is the greens. Cause. Um, we'll do that so that I can use the color palettes again. Now, the second thing that I'm gonna do here is first I'm gonna go back down here and just go just for my own purposes. With this, when you're doing hair, my thought process, my thought pattern with hair is it's going to be different every time you draw it. That's just the way it goes. So, in order to words. In order to get the feel of it correctly, you got to follow the direction that it does. So in this case for him it's all to his god, I'm not directions. It's all to the canvas side where I'm drawing him on. That's the direction that his hair flows in. That's the direction that you need to keep in mind about. So when you're drawing stuff, even when it's not your own character, keep in mind the directions that they've drawn things in, because that's likely going to be the difference between making the character recognizable as that character and having it be hard to tell that it's the character that you're trying to draw. That's a big thing for me, at least, especially with like when I participate in art fight. I try and do the best that I can to keep as much of their initial design in there as I can. You should also always read people's little lore blurbs at the bottom of their page, especially when you're doing art and stuff that's a gift. Because there's always interesting tidbits that you can use to express the personality of the characters. If they have that written down. If not, then you just gotta go with the feel, the vibes that you feel of the characters. So we got the boy. So we got the hair down. That's good. We'll get the eyes on there, which is also good. Yes. As you can see, just by getting those two colors down, we've got a very interesting feeling sort of character. So, because I can, because I want to, I'm just going to do a quick behind with my skin color pencil. And I'm not really paying attention to where the hair I've drawn in is yet. I'm going to do that also here in a second. I'm just doing this so that you sort of get like a full doodle. Since I'm not really doing finished works today, I'm doing. Yeah, he's almost like a vampire. Sort of weird vampire, angel, demon, slime monster man. He's got good energy, though. Good energy that we like. Hence why I called him Styx. After my favorite band. Yeah, that's working. So we'll just do the pale for now. Thank you guys. So that the whole energy is out. We're just sort of following along right now. Now, I've been debating on and off. And on whether or not I like the slime. It's both fun to draw and tedious. So it's a weird combination of like, yeah, I like doing it, and also I hate it. But it's also a nice added color to the aspects of like the wings and I mean, yeah, I'm a big cloud. I'm a big old spacey cloud. That's the point. Yep, yep. Don't mind the cloud aspect. It's more the slime aspect that I'm talking about at the moment. Because it's I'm just gonna hue shift this. Still needs to be on the paler side, but it's. Hmm. No, I guess that one works the best that way. But like, with the slime, he's effectively dripping from his halo, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is slightly overcomplicated in a sense that you have to sort of pay attention to where that is with the design as well as sort of keep it there. You can tell that the original artist wasn't sure how to do clothes around it. And while it's like it's interesting, I don't know if it's like interesting enough to keep. But at the same time, I really do enjoy it. So it's like a toss up. I do think you're hilarious, Coop. Thank you for your you got the drip comment. Like I said, I'm only doing like a halfway shot. So of course I'm just sort of keeping my feathers to myself. He's basically an oopy goopy angel who has the same thing going on with his wings that he does at the top of his head. What do you guys think? Is the Oopagoop doomed to failure, or is it interesting enough to keep? I mean, doing it here, doing it less, makes it a lot more like palatable instead of having it just be like, yeah, 3/4 of your like a quarter of your body up here has to be oozing. Yeah, from a design wise, it could be difficult to use the wings for their intended purpose should he be oozing. Although I do suppose I'm the only one who put it on the wings and the hair in the first place. If I maybe keep it closer to the head. My pencil's too big. Doing it less, and then let me see if I can justify it to myself by doing his like my man is tank top wearer. But you know, it's got to be one of those halter tops. For the back at the wings. Just because I'm design fun. Yeah. Yeah, I actually still like the goo. It's just gotta be less than what I had been doing initially. Otherwise, it's too much goo. The initial design definitely lends itself well. And you kind of need that color. Still some sort of interesting pseudo figure, sort of an angel, sort of a goop. Sort of lower the opacity on that a little bit, just so that I can see the eye through the hair again, because I'm a firm believer. From the design initially when I bought it, yes, it's definitely coming from the halo itself. Do I know what purpose it serves? Not really. When I looked at the information on the species itself, it was just sort of listed as technically an eldritch mutation for the species. They could have stars or literally be glitching out of existence, but there was no lore to explain why they did these things. Just that they experienced some stimulus and mutated that way. For me, if I was going to do anything about it, I haven't really looked into, like, what it would be about. Ron Wilson, bus driver. God. Um, I still need to think about the story itself for this guy, because I don't really have a place to play with him. Not really. But he's definitely a fun concept that I enjoy a lot, because, like, all my favorite design elements are here. We got wings, we got horns, we got freckles, we got white-haired anime boy energy. So yeah. You can see where I was trying over here to keep the pointy face. No, sorry. Can't keep the pointy face. My boy is rounder. I like to round the face. So from here, yeah, I know, right? He's constantly winning on Nickelodeon. What does that even mean? Oh no, it just means he's a winner. There's a reason he doesn't answer questions. Don't ask. So that sticks. Definitely a good goopy boy. So now we're gonna go on to Boku no Hero Academia Man, where I'm gonna first start off. Nope. By explaining to you that this guy has a lot of lore that I made up for him that I don't watch My Hero Academia anymore. And that I only ever really watched it in the first place because I liked the idea of kids being trained for their superpowers in order to prevent them from hurting themselves or people around them. I found a better book series for that by one Drew Hayes called Literally Superpowered. It has more lore in it than you'd expect and is actually a really fun read. So I'm just symmetrizing his mask at the moment because I'm not very good at symmetry. When I'm not the one in charge of it. When I'm the one solely in charge of it, I'm not very good at symmetry. When I can use symmetry tools, my symmetry is cool and I have a bunch of fun stuff. Like this. In a way, I look at it and I'm like, this sort of reminds me of like the Omnix from Overwatch, which is probably where I got a lot of these design elements from, but at the same time, I'm like, still mine. Still mine. I designed this, it's mine. So you can see, just from like me sliding it over, not very symmetrical, but at the same time, I designed it to be trying to be symmetrical. So this guy's Hijack. Like I said, he's a yeah. I mean, this guy's like 2 years old now, but this is Hijack. He's a Boku no Hero Academia OC that I designed in my head initially before trying to draw him out. Uh, he's both he's like an anti-hero slash vigilante slash bad guy because I don't like I like the black and white mentality, but when you try and introduce shades of gray, it's more fun to play within the shades of gray as a character that like goes from I'm not so morally good to okay, I'm morally better. Just through character arc. You gotta throw them. Throw them. Get that nice parabola curve. Uh so yeah. Let's see. How can I explain? I'll start with the quirk that I came up with. Because quirk fun. Uh Hijack. Hijack's quirk. Which I'm pretty sure everybody by now would be like, I understand exactly what that means. But I'm going to explain what that is in the context of the show. It's basically their superpower. It's what they can do that nobody else can do. Because everybody has a mash of genetics that lets them develop a superpower. Hijack's wasn't is fully like situated in his hair. So it's because I was looking at there's a certain like type of cable that you can find for like computers and TVs and that sort of thing that comes to an end in a very sharp, like, you have to twist it on. That's part of it. But it's got this sharp, needly thing poking out of it. Yeah. His name is kind of a big giveaway. He goes by Ash when he's hiding in plain sight, but his villainous slash vigilante ish slash whatever else you want to call it ish name is Hijack for a reason. Basically, because he's got cable hair, specifically cable hair that he can control telekinetically, I'm gonna say, because that makes the most sense to me. That seems like the correct verbiage. He controls his hair telekinetically. He can basically body snatch you through hijacking the electrical impulses that your spinal cord sends throughout your body by stabbing, plugging in to you, basically. You can then use your limbs as if they were his limbs because he can send electrical impulses through his hair because it's electrical cord. basically a different type of mind control, but more electrical based. I believe initially I said that it also knocks you out, but I think he can just do that through choice and it's not a feature of his power. You don't black out from that. So, yeah, that and the big scary mask are part of his sort of vibe. Because he's not necessarily a good guy, but he's also not a bad guy. And that's the important bit right here. Um, let's see. Because I do have his backstory in my head. It's just like, is it now? Is it now? Do I say it? Hijack is basically he's a victim of an underground quirk fighting ring where he proved to be a valuable entertainer enough that the people running it decided they didn't want to lose him after he got the payout he needed to help with his family, which is the reason why he entered in the first place. So they had their specialist on site wipe his memory. Dude doesn't remember his name, does not remember what he was trying to do. All he knows is that he's angry, he knows how to fight, has been fighting constantly for a while, but he got knocked out in one of the rounds to a state that basically like they registered him as dead. So he climbs up out of his own like grave at the beginning of his story and he's just like, "Well, I don't want to stay here," and runs. But he's big scary. As you can see, the man has been through it. Been through it. I had to make a scar chart because I wanted to make sure that I got all the scars down right. And I mean, dude got part of his jaw melted by an acid quirk wielder. So like he needs his like lower jaw mask. He has a couple of masks, but he needs one just so that food does not fall out of his his mouth. Yeah, man's been through it. But he's not necessarily a bad guy. He does have to. Yeah, he's both the character that I'm like, yeah, it's time to beat somebody up. I want to draw somebody absolutely like messed up, but I know that he'll win. This is my character that I beat up on for fun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ash. But yeah, basically when I design Boku no Hero Academia characters, they're for specifically uh if I go over it, it's basically because I'm like, yeah, I have a whole AU in my head where Midoriya Izuku does not get like he gets all sorts of weird mentors, including an ancient forest deity, which I made for Boku no Hero Academia, and a vigilante slash assassin man, which is this man. Because he's just trying to live. Nobody wants to hire him because he's scary looking and they think he's a villain because he's scary looking, both with and without his mask. And his quirk is scary, so they don't want to hire him because quirkism is a thing in the Boku no Hero Academia universe. Rude. But he's also one of my favorite just characters to think about when I'm feeling like agitated. Not just because he's the designated beat up character, but because he's interesting to me. when you accidentally design a character that you're like, I didn't realize this was a trope that I liked. If that makes any sort of sense to anybody else in the audience, I feel you. I understand your pain. So, yes, let's see. What else is there to be said about him at the moment? Yeah, he's got basically the way his quirk works is funny to me for a number of reasons, one of which is that he's basically got dreadlocks made of like wound up fabric cord, but nobody's been able to find him. Nobody's figured it out because all he has to do is like tuck the cord ends of his hair up, and he can do that mentally. So his hair is just like constantly wound. To his head. He like keeps it tight to his head, which amuses me greatly because it's like, y'all, it's obviously him. He's got stripes in his hair. Why are you just ignoring him? But at the same time, it's canon in like the Boku no Hero Academia universe that it's like they're silly. They don't ask these questions. They don't put like 5 and 6 together to make 11. I mean, yeah, but like he looks like he's got power cables for his head. Uh, incidentally, it was a thought that I had after that this was perhaps 90s kid nostalgia for all of those like plug into your TV to turn on your video games. So, now I said before, but I gotta say it again. He is in that morally gray spectrum because I find that fun to play with. Mainly because I'm myself am not morally gray. I am a person who believes that people are people and we should all treat each other nicely. That, of course, makes me an outlier. But I did say before that he was slash is an assassin, and that hasn't changed very much in my head. That's where he starts. And it's mostly because nobody will hire him. He starts taking those like, bad jobs that you're not supposed to take. The jobs that are obviously villain jobs, and you're just like, why are you taking those jobs? And he's just, well, if somebody else would hire me, I wouldn't have to be doing this. but nobody's gonna hire me. So, like, this is where I'm at. Let's do some finer detailing on this. Plus, I also wanted to give a character that was incredibly human. You know, those favorite monster character designs that you have in your head that you can't design a monster for whatever reason. That's basically what happened here with him. Is I wanted to sort of design a kaiju, but I also wanted to design a person. And so we got a man with a kaiju mask that most definitely has fangs and is made of really strong metal so that he can use it to bite people because so yes, he's sort of a morally ambiguous figure who shows up specifically to basically I was making a commentary about um how I felt about some of the stuff that Boku no Hero Academia overlooked before I had started reading with my family Superpowers. Superpowers is very good. I highly recommend it for anybody looking for a good superhero story that actually does touch on stuff like the injustice of people judging people based off of their superpowers or off of like medical conditions or even the contents of the powers. I mean, literally, one of the characters in Superpowers is he has the ability to shift luck. Basically, that's basically what the words to describe his power are. And he's in a program for superheroes. Like, it's really good. Read it. Drew Hayes is my, like, you know how you can read like several books by the same author and not really like all of them? Drew Hayes is the only author that I've found so far that no matter what he's written, I've enjoyed it. There's another superpowers book that he wrote, but it's more from the point of view of like villains, called the Villains Code. Starts with forging Hephaestus. And that's also very good. Yes, every book. Every single book that I've read by Drew Hayes. It's very good. I'd like spend a whole hour just talking about it, so I'm just gonna stop for now and go back to Hijack, who basically, because he's a bad guy, doesn't necessarily get that cool, fancy, like hero gear stuff. No. He's basically running around in a motorcycle jacket, leather jacket type deal. And a helmet that he designed himself, that he got made using the funds that he gets from, usually, I believe what I had him doing was dealing with trying to find the people who made the underground fighting ring that he was stuck as a part of for the longest time. Which turned out to be like billionaires, you know. Like it always is. It's always billionaires. Because of course it is. So he's actually out here wearing like safety gear as his vigilante outfit. But he's a bad guy because he's like saying that those dudes who made the fighting ring that he was stuck in, trapped in, consistently fighting in for years, he assassin, like I said. Come on, dude deserves a little bit of like revenge. I feel it, you feel it, it's all good. Except, not to the Society of Boku no Hero Academia. So, instead, or rather, eventually, in this pursuit, my thought was, because, like I said, I mostly make Boku no Hero Academia characters to play out scenarios that would not happen in the actual series itself. Is basically I would have him meet Midoriya and tell the kid, teach the kid that he deserves better, while also having the kid teach him that there are other ways to ruin people than just, getting rid of them. And finding his previous life, his family, all of that good stuff, while also being like found family tropes, because that's my favorite thing. Obviously, Midoriya would eventually get into UA, become a hero, And my thoughts on that were eventually catches the uncatchable dude because, yeah, I'm fine with being brought in by family. That's fine. I don't mind that. Which amuses me because it's not really what you'd expect from a bad guy. Okay, there we go. So then I go to my scar chart, which starts here. And we deal with scar chart. But yes, that's sort of my breakdown for this guy. I have a bunch of like characters like this where I have just only really one use for them, and the use is um to tell stories in this particular universe, or to tell stories that help me to feel better. Like, if I got time, which maybe I will, maybe I won't, depends. But if I got time, I might pull up. Um, Another thing I tend to buy adopts designs that immediately make me think of things. Uh, which is fun, but not necessarily the best thing for my wallet. You know. But I bought a little robot design that was specifically the thought for that design, obviously because of the names of the group that it was for, which is Medibots. They were supposed to help you remember to take care of yourself. The little medical robots, cute things. And I got it, and his name is Kumaru, and yeah, he basically is supposed to help me to remember to take care of myself. And he's a little bear dragon robot kid doodad, and I love him dearly. One of my favorite designs that I've ever gotten. Uh, that's if I got time, this one I'll maybe uh I'll maybe do it. If I don't, then I'll probably draw him next time, cause I love him. He's a little robot that makes me very happy. Oh dear, I got the hiccups there. For a second. Yes, I'm not a fish. And it wasn't really hiccups, it was more like uh thought process hiccups more than anything. Alright. So looks like it's just the shape. But yes, yep. Come on. You're being ridiculous. And I suppose that that's actually a thing that needs to be included in that as well. But yes, so Kumaro is and was initially bought to make um well, to help me remember to take care of myself, be more responsible for my own health and well-being, because I struggled with being responsible for my own uh taking of medicine. I've gotten a lot better at it now, but still the truth. that I wasn't necessarily the best at it. Now, I haven't actually drawn him in color before, Ash. But you can sort of see by his vibes that he's just sort of tired and frustrated. And that's by design. I don't really have a whole lot of grumpy characters, but I like grumpy characters with hearts of gold, one of my favorite tropes. This is probably gonna, both of these sketches that I've done here today are going to likely end up on my art fight pages because I have both of these dudes that I've drawn today up on my art fight, which I'm looking forward to immensely this year, even though I might be busy. Because I'm probably going to have a job. I'm still planning on participating as best I can. But, job takes priority. But that's me working towards buying my own computer so that I can play Minecraft with Coop. Now we turn off the drawing assist so that I can draw his schnoz in. But first we gotta turn back on the background, because that shows me long, 2 scars on it. Good. Got it. But yeah. Right. Turn back on the drawing assist. Yeah, I love drawing odd hair. Hair that doesn't necessarily fit with normal people's designs because it's more fun. He just sort of looks tired in this, despite my best efforts to make him look intimidating. But that's fine. We merge that down. Oh, wait. We don't merge that down just yet. We take this and we erase the top line over here. Why do we do that? Because the hair defines the top of the head, not the other way around. And maybe we don't do that yet. Yeah. But if I just is actually one of my characters that I try to have look their age, because I wanted him to be on the older side, but I'm still working on it. Let's see. That doesn't look wrong, so. I need the scar color again. Thank you for the scar color. Yeah. I forgot to do the thing which is so important to the character design. You know, the big thing that I went on and on and on about like a minute ago. The reason that he's got to wear a mask. So now I gotta go up a level just to sort of show off my monster making skills. So here's my monster making skills in action. So we've got front teeth here. Secondary. Alright, there's the incisor. Maybe I'll move this over because that helps me, since I designed that there pretty well, in fact. Looks like I also left most of the upper part of it alone, which, cool. Looks like it starts from about here. I got call it the jawline. And you take this, which you do, and you try again. Because when you gotta do scary monster stuff like this, you gotta try and take into account real world anatomy. Just because that's what makes the monster scary. Alright. Then we take this. And we take because he's a scary monster. See, I kept it there, which is why we got this part here. I do enjoy that. It's really interesting to look at. So, I haven't actually put a whole lot of thought into his eye color, but I think it's definitely something I should think about for at least this particular moment in time. He's definitely fun to think about and deal with. Just because of all of the he's the character to beat up aspects of him. He's hard to really get wrong, in my opinion. There's not much that you can do to not make him. Yes, exactly. but then also, give sugar afterwards. Insanity. Absolute bonkersness. He's so tired. Yes, exactly. You get it, Coop, you get it. I'm guessing you also have a character like this then. Or you've run into this phenomenon before. He's definitely like one of the characters I feel bad about messing with, and then I proceed to do it again anyway. Just because, yeah. Coop taking notes on the artists in their natural habitat. They create an entity to completely obliterate and then pat on the head and also say they love dearly. Interesting, takes notes. Feedback. Alright, he's also got another one up here. Give me back the color. Give me back the color. Give it to me. Okay. I didn't mean to do that in there, but. But yeah. Basically, meet Hijack. My Boku no Hero Academia villain man. Who can make you do what he wants you to. This is just how he is. I got clothes. Yeah. So, yeah. In this case, I called him Ash because ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and the dude woke up in the middle of being buried. It's funny, he had the biggest number in wins, which is all they were marking the graves with. So he's like, dang, something to one. I either lost a lot or won a lot, and I'm pretty sure I'm a winner. Looks like we needed to duplicate that a couple more times. I could see his face through the mask. Anyway. I can show it to you, it looks like. My little robot. But I cannot draw anything for it today. So I will show it to you. I will show Robot. So I will show you the little robot that I bought initially. 'Tis this thing. Very small. Very cute. Dragon bear. And then I will show you just my full on thought process. Keep forgetting about like tiny aspects of the drawing. But yes, little robot bear boy, full of kawaii energy. And I'm leaving it in here because next week I plan on doing more of these because going over old designs is fun. And I like it. So, first things first though. Never mind. I think this is good for now. So, I will think of another one to bring to this doing just like bust shots next week. Let's see. It's not next week, but the Thursday after next week, I probably will not be able to do a stream because moving. So I will try to make it up to you guys, but I don't necessarily want to use the hotel Wi-Fi to stream because that would be... But it's not next week, but the week after next, I'm pretty sure. But then I might be changing the schedule entirely because new time zones. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. I greatly appreciate you. I enjoyed having you here while I talked about characters and old designs. I hope you had a good time too. Have a good evening, afternoon, or rest of the day for wherever you are. I am going to go over the last little bits. If you like what I do and want to support me, I have a Ko-fi in the bottom of my description zone, along with the archive link to my YouTube where I am archiving these streams if you missed one. The goal for the Ko-fi is right now to buy a new computer. However, if I make enough money to buy my own computer, I will change that goal. So, we'll see. It's so that I can play Minecraft with my friend Coop. And maybe we'll co-stream. Who knows? I post my art on DeviantArt and Tumblr. I also put it on the Ko-fi page when I do. Like I said earlier, not this week, not next week, but the week after next. I'm probably going to be on the move on Thursday, but you will get your Tuesday streams. So, Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. I will see you guys next Tuesday. I hope you have a fantastic time. And I will see you later. Bye bye.